Hello everybody, Joel here from Golf Monthly. I hope you're well, and in this video we are going to be answering the question as to whether an oversized golf ball can help your game. Now, the thumbnail that you saw on the front of this video might have been a bit misleading. This golf ball isn't hugely bigger than a traditional golf ball, but it is a little bit bigger nonetheless. Now, this is the Callaway Supersoft Magna, and it's 3% larger than the traditional golf ball, and there's some reasons behind that. Callaway say that a larger golf ball is more forgiving, it's more stable through the air, and it has a higher centre of gravity, so it should be easier for golfers to make more solid contact and get the ball up in the air a little bit easier. This is a two-piece low compression golf ball, so it's going to feel really soft, as the name suggests, the Supersoft name, and I was really keen to see how it performed up against a regular premium golf ball, like a tour ball like I currently play. So it's certainly an intriguing prospect and one that I'm keen to try out here on the golf course. But before we do that, I just need to remind you to subscribe to the Golf Monthly YouTube channel, because that way you won't miss any of our equipment tests like this, and you get a notification every time a new video drops. Click the like button if you like what you're watching, and comment on the video. Is this a concept, an idea, a golf ball that you are interested in trying? Maybe, and hopefully by the end of this video, you certainly will be interested in giving it a try. But for now, before we take it onto the golf course, let's have a look at the Foresight Sports GC Quad launch monitor data we've got with the Callaway Supersoft Magna and how it compared to a reputable tour premium golf ball. Okay, so I hit the Callaway Supersoft Magna on the Foresight Sports GC Quad launch monitor this morning during a testing session, and I did it up against the Srixon Z-Star, which I would say is a pretty reputable tour level premium performance golf ball. Retails at £45 for a dozen, whereas the Supersoft Magna retails at $25.99, so a lot less in terms of price. But let's dive into the performance that we got to see how they compared. So I hit a 50-yard pitch shot with a 54-degree wedge. I hit a 7-iron and I hit a driver, and there are some very interesting results. So starting with the 50-yard pitch shot, they launched basically exactly the same launch angle, 30.6 degrees, but the spin was just over 300 RPM less with the Callaway Supersoft Magna compared to the Z-Star. So that urethane cover on the Srixon clearly gripping the grooves a little bit more, giving you a bit more spin, and as a result, with less spin, the Callaway, it did fly a little bit higher on that shorter pitch shot. With the 7-iron, we did see even bigger differences in performance between the two. The Callaway Supersoft was around 2 miles an hour quicker, 122 miles an hour compared to the Srixon, and it did launch just under 1 degree lower at 19.4 degrees. The Callaway Supersoft Magna spun incredibly low with a 7-iron. This is my own 7-iron with 34 degrees of loft, down at 4,341 RPM compared to just over 5,500 RPM with the Srixon. So that's an incredible difference in spin there between the two golf balls. Similar flight in terms of peak height, and it went a whopping 178 yards compared to 167 with the Srixon Z-Star, so an awful lot longer than the Srixon, clearly getting some excellent iron distance with this Callaway golf ball. Moving into the driver, the performance does reverse slightly. So I remember when I tested these shots at Foresight HQ, I absolutely nutted these drives with the Callaway. I couldn't hit them any better, and I was really intrigued to see the numbers. But that said, I had a lower ball speed with this Callaway golf ball, 153.8 miles an hour versus 155.1 miles an hour with the Srixon. So just over 1 mile an hour slower with the driver. Launched slightly lower at 14.1 degrees. Similarly low spin. Magna carried 271, which is pretty good, with the Srixon carried 276. So 5 yards shorter than the Srixon performance. So some interesting differences there. Short game didn't quite spin as much around the greens. Iron play was incredibly longer and very low spin. Driver was a little bit slower, didn't carry as far, but flew similar trajectory in terms of height and only was 5 yards shorter. So that gives you an indication into the type of performance this Callaway Supersoft Magna golf ball offers. But to really dive into the true performance as to what it offers in terms of forgiveness and stability of ball flight, we need to test it out on the golf course, which is exactly what we're going to do now. Right, so we've come to the 5th tee here at West Hill, which admittedly isn't a hole that you necessarily want to shape the golf ball, but I just wanted to do a live demonstration for you to show you exactly, based on the testing I've done already on the previous holes, what I've noticed with this golf ball in terms of the ability to shape the golf ball. With that Supersoft Magna being a bit bigger, it's definitely much less easier to curve the golf ball, which if you tend to curve your ball offline a lot, should help you find more fairways. But if you like to shape the ball in terms of workability, maybe you like to aim left and play a fade, or aim right and hit a draw, you might find that you're less able to shape the ball with this new Callaway Supersoft Magna being 3% larger. Just wanted to kind of highlight down by the ball, you know, when you put the clubs behind each of them, it is noticeable that the Callaway Supersoft Magna is obviously bigger. It kind of looks easier to hit. It looks a bit more confidence inspiring. Feels like you're probably going to hit it close to the sweet spot with that larger size than you are a regular golf ball. But the proof is in the pudding, of course. So I'm going to aim down the left of this hole and hopefully fade it back with both of these golf balls. I'm going to hit the Swixon Z-Star first. And so yeah, hopefully we can hit a nice fade with this golf ball to show you that this should curve a little bit more if I try and put exactly the same swing on each shot. So aim down the left and hit a fade. There you go. So that started left centre of the fairway and it's cutting, landed exactly on the right edge of the fairway. So we've got about 20-25 yards of shape there. I'm going to try and put an identical swing on the Callaway Supersoft Magna to demonstrate to you, if you can see the ball flight, just how less this ball curves through the air. If I aim similarly down that left side, try and cut it. Well, that's a perfect example. You see that started down the left and it's moved about 1 yard to the right. It stayed on the left side of the fairway. So it's still on the fairway, admittedly, but that just goes to show you how much of a difference of ball flight the Callaway Supersoft Magna produces compared to a traditional golf ball in terms of that size. It does make a big difference in your ability to shape the golf ball. Just ran down the fairway to get those golf balls. Felt like I struck them pretty similarly and put the same swing on it. Worth noting that the Swixon was about 10 yards further down the fairway than it was the Callaway, even though I shaped it a little bit more. So I think you do, generally speaking, get a bit more distance with a modern tour premium golf ball compared to the Callaway Supersoft Magna. So one good thing about having an oversized golf ball is that it's easier to find in the rough and the header like this. I felt like this was a little bit easier to spot, and for someone who's got my accuracy off the tee, that's going to come in handy. Right, so I think I've played enough holes now with the Callaway Supersoft Magna to draw some pretty firm conclusions about how it performs and how it compares with mainstream tour performance premium golf ball. I mean, the first thing to talk about is the size of it. Obviously, it is something that you do notice at address and definitely looks easier to hit. There's no question, with regardless of what club you're using, whether it's driver, iron, wedge, putter, but it doesn't put you off. And for me, maybe it just inspires a bit more confidence. And if, you know, golf is an intimidating game, that ball down on the ground behind the club can look fairly daunting, and if you've got something a bit larger there that is still conforming to the rules of golf, of course, maybe that's just going to help you out. And certainly found it to be a bit more easy to strike consistently with that extra size. Second thing you notice is off the tee, you know, for my swing speed, it doesn't quite give me the distance of a regular tour ball like the Swixon Z-Star. That said, it wasn't that far behind, and the ball flight seemed to be a lot more stable, especially on off-centre hits. I definitely noticed this ball wasn't curving as much offline. It's a higher MOI, it's more stable, and that's also going to help you in the wind as well. It wasn't especially windy today, but I do feel like it's going to give you a bit more stability in the wind. So if you struggle to keep your driver on the fairway, maybe a switch to a ball like this is going to help you out without sacrificing necessarily an awful lot of yards. Iron play again was noticeably different to the type of ball I currently play. This was going an awful lot further. I was clubbing down by at least one club when I was using this Callaway ball compared to the Swixon. Again, that should make the game a little bit easier. The low spin is of course a worry. It's going to result potentially in a drop of stopping power. I did find it launched and flew a little bit higher with the irons, but again, it's a bit more of a trade-off, and that definitely transpired into the short game as well, where I feel like there was a little bit of a trade-off there. The Callaway perhaps not spinning quite as much around the greens, definitely flew a bit higher on those longer pitch shots and chip shots, but there wasn't much in it. Obviously, the big difference between the two is the feel of this golf ball. This is a much softer feeling golf ball, even compared to the Strixon, which I would say is one of the softest feeling tour balls out there. You know, this feels noticeably jumpy off the face, especially when it comes to wedges and putters. Notice that this felt a little bit jumpy, wasn't quite as controlled, just a bit different to what I'm used to. But again, that's something that you could get used to over time when you switch into a ball like this. And I don't think it's something that you should dismiss right away. You know, this is definitely a genuine option that comes in at a very reasonable price point, and that stability you get with your ball flight is definitely going to help. Potentially, I'd say mid to high handicappers, maybe slower swing speeds with that lower compression construction. It's going to benefit your game the most. Would I play it? Probably not, but we could all benefit from a bit more stability and a bit less curvature on our ball flight. That said, if you do like to shape the ball, maybe this isn't an option to you. If you prefer to hit straight shots like me, maybe it's an option you should consider if you're looking to keep the ball on the fairway a bit more often. But hopefully that's given you a good idea as to the type of performance this oversized Callaway Supersoft Magna golf ball offers. Of course, I'd love to hear from you. Is this something you are going to consider trying? Remember, it is conforming to the rules of golf. You can use it in competitions. So I'd love to know what you think. But for now, from West Hill, it's goodbye.